Good evening. Welcome to Primetime News on TV1. I'm Thiruni Karnaratna. Here are tonight's top stories. President commences official visit to Japan. Meets Trump during US visit. 78 of prisoners have no O-level education. National program to be launched to curb the drug menace, says Minister of Public Security. Strong winds across several regions. Landslide warnings for 9 districts continue to remain in effect. Protest against Mana wind power plant dispersed by police. Ceylon tea enters Guinness World Records in Japan. Sri Lanka puts up tough fight against India in Asia Cup Super 4 clash. In your top story tonight, President Anurukumara Dissanayake arrived in Japan today for an official visit. He will remain in Japan until the 30th of September. President Anurukumara Dissanayake is scheduled to meet with the Emperor of Japan during this official visit, conducted at the invitation of the Japanese government. He will also hold a bilateral meeting with the Japanese Prime Minister, where both leaders are expected to discuss a range of key issues of mutual interest. Additionally, President Dissanayake will participate in a business forum in Tokyo, attended by senior representatives from leading Japanese companies and investors. During the visit, President Dissanayake will also meet with Sri Lankans residing in Japan. President Anurukumara Dissanayake says that prosperity should elevate the living standards of every citizen. He expressed these views during the celebrations of Sri Lanka Day at Expo 2025 Osaka in Japan. President Anurukumara Dissanayake, on an official visit to Japan at the invitation of the Japanese government, participated today in the Sri Lanka Day celebrations at Expo 2025 Osaka. The event, organized jointly by the Sri Lanka Tourism Promotion Bureau and the Sri Lankan Embassy in Japan, was vibrant with a rich display of Sri Lankan cultural performances.
Expo 2025 තේමාව වන්නේ
The theme of Expo 2025, Creating a Future Society for Our Lives, envisions a better future for the generations to come, especially our children. In this era of global transformation, Sri Lanka stands at a pivotal point in its economic journey. Having endured a series of challenges, we are now focused on rebuilding a sustainable and inclusive economy, one where the benefits of development are broadly shared and prosperity translates into an improved quality of life for every citizen.
හැම පුරවැසියෙකුගේම ජීවන තත්ත්වය උසස් කරන බවටත් අප සහතික වනවා.
During the event, President Dissanayake also toured the Sri Lanka and Japan exhibition pavilions at Expo 2025 Osaka. The exhibition aims to showcase Sri Lanka's cultural heritage and economic potential to the international community. Meanwhile, a special evening reception was hosted by US President Donald Trump in New York for world leaders attending the 80th session of the United Nations General Assembly. The event, held on the 23rd of September at the Lotte New York Palace Hotel, was attended by President Anurukumara Dissanayake. During the reception, President Trump warmly welcomed President Dissanayake, and both leaders posed for photographs following cordial discussions. In addition, President Dissanayake held talks with Atul Keshup, Senior Vice President for South Asia at the US Chamber of Commerce. On the 25th of September, a special celebration was organized in New York by the government of France to mark the completion of 60 member states under the United Nations Treaty on the Conservation and Sustainable Use of Marine Biodiversity in areas beyond national jurisdiction. Sri Lanka became a party of the treaty on the 16th of September, joining as the 58th state. The event was attended by French President Emmanuel Macron and other world leaders, along with President Dissanayake. The treaty, which covers 2/3 of the world's oceans, aims to protect marine biodiversity, ensure sustainable use, and share benefits from areas beyond national jurisdiction. According to the President's media division, the treaty is scheduled to come into force officially on the 17th of January next year. Now, Minister of Public Security Ananda Vijaypala says that a national program to eradicate the drug menace will be launched soon.
බන්ධනාගාරින් සිරකරුවන්ගෙන් 70%.
Among prisoners currently incarcerated, 78% have not completed their ordinary level education. Many of them have only a basic level of schooling. This shows that there is a direct link between lack of education, criminal activity and drug abuse. At present, the country is facing a very serious crisis of addiction. Evidence proves that the drug problem is fueled not only by substances coming from foreign countries but also domestic production. In this situation, it is the responsibility of parents to protect their children from falling into this cycle of drug abuse. This, I believe, is the most important task at this time. We have planned that within the next week or two, a national program to eradicate drug abuse will be launched. The aim is to make this the highest level government initiative. Once this is implemented, over the next 3 to 4 years, we plan to eliminate the drug trade and drug-related activities in the country, ensuring that your children and all children in Sri Lanka are protected from drug addiction. It is this government's responsibility to provide an environment that allows children to access education and guarantees their safety and protection. It is also our duty to build a prosperous nation and provide a better life for our people.
The minister expressed these views today at Kurunagala Maliyadeva Balika Vidyalaya while participating in a scholarship awarding program for children from families of active members of the Employees Trust Fund who have successfully completed the Grade 5 scholarship examination.
Police have seized a total of 1,721 illegal firearms used in various crimes through widespread operations and raids so far this year.
Following the reporting of 7 major incidents this year, we were able to take 38 organized criminals, specifically shooters and gunmen, into police custody. In addition, we currently have 328 suspects in custody, including 27 drivers and 263 accomplices under detention orders. We have also been able to seize a total of 1,721 firearms, including 61 heavy weapons such as T-56 rifles, 62 pistols or light firearms, and 40 revolvers, both domestic and foreign-made, which were being used in various crimes.
The police media spokesperson also provided an update on drug seizures conducted so far this year.
In 2025, the police have seized 955 kilograms of heroin, 1,422 kilograms of ice, 471 kilograms of hashish, 29 kilograms of cocaine and 773 kilograms of cannabis. We are taking strict action to bring all these criminals to justice under the law.
What is the progress in bringing overseas criminals and drug traffickers to justice?
We have brought 17 dangerous criminals hidden in foreign countries back to Sri Lanka and issued 30 red notices to locate them. We are actively working to identify and apprehend them swiftly.
Meanwhile, the Commissioner General of Rehabilitation says that those addicted to drugs will have the opportunity to voluntarily receive rehabilitation starting next month.
Through the court orders, young individuals are sent to our rehabilitation centres, of which we have 3, Vaunia, Valikanda and Singhapura. These are the actual locations where rehabilitation is provided. In addition to young people sent via court orders, we are also implementing a government program to allow voluntary rehabilitation for youths who wish to switch from addiction to recovery. From the middle week of the next month, these youths will arrive at our centres to voluntarily undergo rehabilitation. We are currently completing the necessary procedures for this program and have already begun the required work.
National organizer of the Sri Lanka Pothuchana Peramuna Namal Rajapaksa recently took steps to issue a letter of demand to Deputy Minister of Public Security and Parliamentary Affairs Sunil Battagala, requesting compensation of 1 billion rupees. This action stems from allegations made by the Deputy Minister linked to the production of crystal methamphetamine or ice involving the Manamperi brothers, who allegedly hid a large stock of illicit substances on their property. property. Now today, both these parties presented their views on this matter.
දැන් මේ දවස්වල එන්තරවාසි ප්‍රශ්නයක් යනවා ඔබතුමා එකක් කියනවා සුනිල් වටගල මහත්තයා තව එකක් කියනවා
එතකොට තව ටික දවසක් තියෙනවා මගෙන් අහන්න ඕන ප්‍රශ්න ටික අධිකරණයේදී අහන්න ඕන ප්‍රශ්න ටික ලෑස්ති වෙන්න.
සාමාන්‍යයෙන් එන්තරවාසියක් ගෙව්වට පස්සේ
Generally, after sending a letter of demand, a reply has to be provided under the prevailing law. So I have already sent a legal letter of demand to him. I have also sent a written response to Namal Rajapaksa. The number of days has now passed. I thought he would file the case and then send me the summons through registered post itself. I'm waiting until Namal's summons arrives. I have many points to present when going before the Honourable Court. If he files the case, within that case, I will build up my own case through a counterclaim. He is demanding 1 billion from me, but I have already fought back by demanding 2 billion in compensation through a letter of demand.
මම බිලියන 2ක වන්දියක් ඉල්ලලා ඒ එන්තරවාසියම මම සටහන් කළා තියෙනවා.
ඔබතුමා නීතිඥයෙක් එදායින් අපි දන්න කාලේ ඉඳන් ඒ ප්‍රැක්ටිස් එකෙන්මද මේ ගහන්න හදන්නේ?
ඉතින් අවුරුදු 26ක ප්‍රැක්ටිස් එකක් තියෙනවා මට අපහාස නීතියට විතරක්.
I have 26 years of practice solely in defamation law. Defamation law is my subject. Now Namal Rajapaksa has really gotten himself into trouble because in a defamation case, the plaintiff must be a person of very good reputation, someone with a respectable and honourable character. The plaintiff must be a person with pure character. But how many indictments have already been filed against him? Not only that, how many accusations have been levelled against him and the Rajapaksa family as a whole? Therefore, I have mentioned all of that in my letter of demand. I have stated clearly, if you are preparing to file a defamation case against me, then the court must direct you to respond to all these points during my cross-examination.
ගරු අධිකරණයේ මගේ හරස් ප්‍රශ්නවලට උත්තර දෙන්න කියලා.
News First with the people.
The final rites for 5 monks who passed away in the tragic accident at the Malsiripura Aranya Senasana were held this evening. The rites took place at the Pansigama Public Cemetery.
The bodies of the 5 monks who passed away, previously kept at the Nauyana Aranya Senasana, were placed in the Sila Hall of the monastery around 2 p.m. today, where religious rites were carried out. Family members of the deceased monks and other attendees carried out religious rites in memory of the monks. Following the religious rites, the bodies of the monks were transported to the Pansigama Public Cemetery for final rites. Subsequently, the bodies of the Sri Lankan monks Venerable Udavalave Santasumana, Venerable Navalapite Uttarananda, Venerable Nugeguda Vipassi, Venerable Malvanegama Samidhi, as well as the Venerable Dhammarakita from Russia were cremated.
Police dispersed a protest staged by residents of Mannar early this morning. The protest was held by blocking vehicles transporting turbines and other equipment intended for the proposed wind power plants in Mannar.
Residents of Mannar staged a protest last night by blocking the road in opposition to vehicles transporting equipment required for the proposed wind power plants in the Mannar town. Although police instructed the protesters to clear the road, they refused to comply, resulting in a tense situation between the police and the public. Newsfirst correspondent reported that 3 protesters were injured during the incident and were hospitalized. When inquired, police stated that steps were taken to disperse the group that had blocked the road last night. They further noted that several individuals at the scene had obstructed police duties and investigations are now underway to identify those involved. For the past several days, residents have been staging protests demanding that turbine tower components and related parts required for the wind power project not be transported into Mannar town.
The Department of Meteorology has warned that strong winds may occur in several parts of the island over the next few days. The department has issued an advisory regarding these expected strong winds and rough seas.
Strong winds of about 30 to 40 kilometers per hour can be expected at times over western slopes of the central hills and in northern, north central, northwestern and central provinces and in Trincomalee and Hambantota districts. The advisory says that the wind speed in deep sea areas in the Bay of Bengal will increase to 55 to 65 kilometers per hour at times, and those sea areas will be rough or very rough at times. The Department of Meteorology requests the naval and fishing communities to be vigilant in this regard.
Wind speeds in the coastal areas from Chilau to Mana, Kankasanture via Mullaitivu and from Galle to Puthuvil via Matara and Hambantota may at times reach speeds of up to 150 kilometers per hour, causing rough sea conditions in these areas. We therefore urge the naval and fishing communities operating in these coastal waters to carry out their activities with caution and remain vigilant.
The landslide warnings issued in connection with the ongoing heavy rains remains in effect for 9 districts. These districts are Colombo, Galle, Kalutara, Kandy, Kegalle, Kurunagala, Matara, Nuwara and Ratnapura. Accordingly, the National Building Research Organisation has advised the general public in these areas to exercise caution against potential rockfalls, landslides, soil erosion and collapses of mounds of earth or embankments.
Newsfirst, main sponsor.
A trusted place for your fixed deposits. Valuable FD, the symbol of stability. A trusted place for your fixed deposits. Valuable FD, 10.25% for 15 months, 11% for 24 months. Valuable FD, the symbol of stability.
Minister of Mass Media Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa says that the government's aim is to build a society enriched with human values through the promotion of reading. He made these remarks this morning while inaugurating the Colombo International Book Fair held in line with the Literary Month.
The Colombo International Book Fair, now in its 26th edition, is being held at the Bandaranaike Memorial International Conference Hall premises. The opening ceremony was graced by Minister of Health and Mass Media, Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa, together with Dinesh Kulathunga, Chairman of the Sri Lanka Book Publishers Association, and other distinguished guests. A special first day cover jointly designed by the Department of Government Printing and the Department of Posts to mark the 26th Colombo International Book Fair was also issued on this occasion. In addition, scholarships under the Darudiriya program were awarded to students. This year's book fair features nearly 500 stalls, including 40 international stalls. The exhibition is open daily from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. and will conclude on the 6th of October.
Now, discussions are currently underway regarding the potential unification of various factions within the opposition. Today, various parties shared their views on this matter.
Naveen Disanayake, Kandy district leader of the United National Party, says there is currently no need for discussions regarding leadership while the UNP and the Samagi Jana Balawegaya are working together. He added that if a forthcoming provincial council election takes place, he is prepared to contest for the chief minister position and demonstrate his capability by winning.
The leaders of our United National Party are present in those areas, and you can ask them who the leader is. No, we don't need to discuss that now. For instance, if a provincial council election comes up, I am willing to contest for the chief minister position on that list. If I contest, I am capable of winning. There is a provision within the party regarding this. I cannot assume the leadership at this moment. Currently, we have a leader in place. We will discuss with him whether he intends to continue in the role or not. If he does not, then we will select another leader and work together amicably as a team within the party.
Speaking at the Kurunegala District Convention of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party, Anura Priyadarshana stated that regardless of current differences, the priority is for all parties to unite.
We made a significant mistake and we were responsible for it. Our party experienced a split. Today, it is not just the Sri Lanka Freedom Party that needs unity. All our parties require cooperation. We can already see small sparks of light emerging. This unity is what political parties need to achieve consensus. We attend to the United National Parties conference, but the entire setup was structured like a multi-party gathering. Leaders from all parties were present. What is the purpose of this? Everyone desires to establish strong cooperation among political parties. I do not think that this is a bad thing.
Meanwhile, Sagara Karyavasam, General Secretary of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna, stated that under a future government, several ministers from the current National People's Power administration will face legal punishment.
Our party is moving forward strongly at the grassroots level, consolidating the segments of the people that were previously distant from us. The problem arises only if individuals have assets acquired through illegal means. At present, all of us have submitted our asset declarations. According to the statements of ministers from the Janata Vimukti Peramuna, there are assets listed that violate the law. These must be investigated. Under a future government, several ministers from the JVP are certain to face legal consequences.
Chandi Mehettiarachchi, Member of Parliament for the National People's Power, says that even after being rejected by the people, the opposition continues to act in ways consistently opposed by the public.
The opposition is now fearful. Their internal political matters have turned chaotic. Some are even discussing the appointment of 29 presidents and beyond that. They are deliberating on additional powers and non-executive presidents. This has caused the opposition's politics to become distorted. Even after the government and the people entrusted them with authority to build the country, the opposition continues to act in a way that go against public wishes. When some of them were caught with illicit substances like ice and cases were filed, they attempted to manipulate public opinion, lie and create various narratives to protect themselves. Because of this, the opposition's politics has reached a very tangled state. They are now trying to finish off that chaos themselves. Meanwhile, the people have already made a clear decision on how this country should be properly built. We are carrying out that task very clearly and decisively at this time.
ජනතාවට වෙන චිත්‍ර මවන්න ඒව තමයි මේ කරමින් ඉන්නේ.
The second workshop of the Pyramid's Wilma Chef's Hunt program was held today in Kurunegala. The program is jointly conducted by Newsfirst and Pyramid Wilma with the support of the Chefs Guild of Sri Lanka and the National Apprentice and Industrial Training Authority. Today's session included both practical training and a written assessment. This program is tailored for young aspiring chefs aged 18 to 25 who aim to build a career as professional chefs.
Sri Lanka celebrated World Tourism Day today under the theme Tourism and Sustainability Transformation at the Mahavali Centre. World Tourism Day is celebrated annually on the 27th of September as declared by the United Nations World Tourism Organization. The theme for 2025 is Tourism and Sustainability Transformation. As a key highlight, the Mahavali Centre Museum was inaugurated, aiming to promote educational preservation. The program also featured vibrant performances rooted in Sri Lanka's living traditions, including dance, music and ritual items that reflect the diversity and resilience of the country's cultural identity. highlight of the event was the launch of the Tree Foster Parent Initiative, a sustainable project aimed at environmental conservation. The event is significant as it brings together three pillars of Sri Lanka's tourism journey: heritage, culture and environment into a single unified platform, showcasing the country's commitment to sustainable and inclusive tourism. The 4K restored version of the movie Gehanu Lamai was premiered in Colombo yesterday.
Shot in 1978, a classic film of the Sri Lanka Sinhala cinema, a legend that is still being talked about even in 2025 after 47 years, is now being restored in 4K to bring you a better and a bigger version of this Sinhala cinema legend, and that is none other than Gehanu Lamai. Now this Gehanu Lamai film was premiered in the Cannes Film Festival very recently, and the same restored 4K version of this film is now being premiered in Colombo.
Sri Lanka's first female filmmaker Sumitra Peiris made her cinematic debut in 1978 with Gehanu Lamai. The 4K restored version of the movie Gehanu Lamai was premiered in Colombo, attended by Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya. The main leads of the film, Ajit Jinadasa and Vasanthi Chaturani, along with other industry actors, attended this special screening 47 years later.
So many layers to the film that I hadn't obviously realized when I saw it when I was 8 years old. A highly political film actually, it's not just a love story. There are so many layers to it, and it's wonderful that a new generation can see this film, and I really hope that it gets another life and that many more people will be able to see this film. I know that many of us are familiar with the music, with the actors, but there's a story here that I think is really relevant even for today.
Gehanu Lamai have been restored by the Film Heritage Foundation with the support of the French Embassy in Sri Lanka and the Maldives, the French Embassy in India and the French Institute in India, under the aegis of the France-Sri Lanka-India Cine Heritage Project, with the collaboration of the Lester James Peiris and Sumitra Peiris Foundation. The 4K restoration was screened at Cannes Film Festival, France as well.
We are very proud for the French Embassy and the French government to support such an initiative. We are very much committed into women issues, equality for women and men, gender issues. This year is the year of feminist diplomacy, and that's such an outstanding venue for this issue.
Gayatri Mustashi, chairperson of the Lester James Peiris and Sumitra Peiris Foundation, and Shivendra Singh, president of the Film Heritage Foundation India, also attended the event. The 4K restoration of Gehanu Lamai will be available to cinema lovers in the near future.
Globally, a person develops dementia every 3 seconds. The number of people living with dementia is projected to rise to 78 million by 2030 and 139 million by 2050. Sri Lanka, with one of the fastest aging populations in this region, is expected to have nearly 500,000 people living with dementia by 2050. To raise awareness about this growing issue, the Lanka Alzheimer's Foundation organized a walk today.
A memory walk to raise awareness and challenge stigma around dementia was organized today by the Lanka Alzheimer's Foundation. Now in its 14th year, World Alzheimer's Month emphasizes the theme Ask About Dementia, Ask About Alzheimer's, encouraging people to seek information, ask questions and break the silence around a condition that affects more than 55 million people worldwide. Research shows that almost half of dementia cases could be delayed or prevented through healthy lifestyle choices, yet misconceptions persist, with 65% of healthcare professionals and 80% of the public still believing dementia is a normal part of aging.
The Feminist Futures Art, Activism and South Asian Womanhood exhibition was open to the public today. The Feminist Futures Art, Activism and South Asian Womanhood exhibition, which explores feminist art across South Asia, is now officially open to the public. The exhibition interrogates patriarchy, colonialism and socio-religious structures while highlighting the resilience and creative agency of women artists as they reclaim narratives and drive feminist activism forward. Featuring works by leading artists from Sri Lanka, India, Bangladesh and Nepal, the exhibition brings together diverse perspectives under one platform. The exhibition is open at the Lotus Gallery, National Museum, Colombo from 10 a.m. daily and will continue until the 8th of October. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu attacked the recognition of a Palestinian state by multiple Western countries during a combative speech at the UN General Assembly yesterday. Netanyahu labelled the recognition moves a quote-unquote mark of shame that sent the message that quote-unquote murdering Jews pays off. Dozens of officials and diplomats staged a walkout as he took to the podium, leaving large parts of the conference hall empty. Outside, protesters against Israel's war in Gaza gathered in the Times Square. Moments into the speech, Netanyahu unfurled a map in which he methodically used a fat marker to check off the countries where Israel has killed its enemies during a nearly 2-year region-wide war.
Here's where things stand today. Half the Houthi leadership in Yemen, gone. Yahya Sinwar in Gaza, gone. Hassan Nasrallah in Lebanon, gone. The Assad regime in Syria, gone. Those militias in Iraq, well, they're still deterred. And their leaders, if they attack Israel, will also be gone. And for Iran's top military commanders and its top atomic bomb scientists, well, they're gone too.
Netanyahu then addressed the audience with a pair of multiple choice questions depicted on a large card.
Let's do a pop quiz. And raise your hand if you know the answer. Here's the first question. Last year, I stood at this podium and I showed this map. This map. It shows the curse of Iran's terror axis. This axis threatened the peace of the entire world. It threatened the stability of our region and the very existence of my country, Israel. Iran was rapidly developing a massive nuclear weapons program and a massive ballistic missile program. These were meant not only to destroy Israel, they were meant also to threaten the United States and blackmail nations everywhere. Let's do a pop quiz. And raise your hand if you know the answer. Here's the first question. Who shouts death to America? Is it A, Iran, B, Hamas, C, Hezbollah, D, the Houthis, or E, all of the above? All of the above. Correct, all of the above. Second question. Who has murdered Americans and Europeans in cold blood? Is it A, Al-Qaeda, B, Hamas, C, Hezbollah, D, Iran, or E, all of the above? All of the above. Correct. Again. So here's the point I wanted to make. Our enemies hate all of us with equal venom. They want to drag the modern world back to the past, to a dark age of violence, fanaticism, and terror.
He thanked US President Donald Trump for American involvement in bombing Iran's Fordo nuclear site in June and drew parallels between Hamas's October 7, 2023 attack on Israel and the 9/11 attack on the United States. The Israeli Prime Minister repeated that Israel would not allow a Palestinian state to exist and said this position was supported by the vast majority of Israelis. He went on to rebuff the conclusion of a UN Commission of Inquiry that Israel had committed genocide in Gaza, claiming that the charge was baseless. Ahead of his speech, Netanyahu's office ordered that the Israeli military mount loudspeakers on trucks near the Gaza perimeter fence in order to broadcast his words live across the territory. Israel has come under huge international pressure over its military action in Gaza, culminating in the United Kingdom, France, Canada, Australia and other countries recognizing a Palestinian state this week. A day earlier, Palestinian Authority leader Mahmoud Abbas said in his speech to the General Assembly that he is ready to work with world leaders to implement a peace plan for Israel and the Palestinians. The most intense clash of the Asia Cup T20 cricket tournament so far concluded last night at the Dubai International Cricket Stadium. India and Pakistan faced off. India and Sri Lanka faced off, with India entering the match as the tournament's undefeated team. The game went all the way to a super over, delivering a tense and gripping contest. In the end, India emerged victorious in the super over.
Before the match, Indian captain Suryakumar Yadav expressed his condolences to Sri Lankan player Dunitwe Lalage over the recent loss of his father. Batting first, the Indian team lost their first wicket at just 15 runs. Suryakumar Yadav and Abhishek Sharma then forged a partnership of 59 runs for the second wicket. The opening batsman Abhishek Sharma took on the Sri Lankan bowlers and scored 61 runs off 31 balls. Tilak Varma remained unbeaten on 49 runs off 34 balls. India posted the highest total of the tournament so far, finishing with 202 runs for 5 wickets in 20 overs. Sri Lanka came out to bat in pursuit of the total, led by their most successful tournament batsmen, Pathum Nissanka and Kusal Mendis. After Kusal Mendis was dismissed for a duck, the responsibility to stabilise the innings fell on Pathum Nissanka and Kusal Janit Pereira. Kusal Janit Pereira scored 58 runs off 32 balls, contributing to a strong 127-run partnership for the second wicket with Pathum Nissanka. Pathum Nissanka, the tournament's in-form batsman, played a commanding innings, scoring 107 runs off 58 balls, effectively neutralising the Indian team's mental advantage. His brilliant innings thrilled cricket fans and became the third century in Asia Cup T20 history, as well as the fourth century by a Sri Lankan batsman in T20 Asia Cup history. After Nissanka's dismissal, the responsibility for the chase fell to Dasun Shanaka. With memories of the match against Australia in Pallekele, Sri Lanka needed 3 runs from the final ball to secure victory.
And is there a chance of a third? Could have been a run out.
With scores level at the end of 20 overs, a super over was required to decide the winner. Sri Lanka managed to score just 2 runs in the super over. Suryakumar Yadav then came to bat and scored 3 runs off the first ball, dashing the hopes of Sri Lankan fans.
Very calmly done, and that might just equal that 3 runs. India won.
We
had a left-hand right-hand combination throughout. Because Kuldeep was bowling, we slightly adjusted our right-hand position to maintain that combination. We were fully prepared with all pads and gear. Janit, Dasun and Vanidu were in position, and Vanidu was ready to bowl at the right moment. Everything went according to plan. Towards the end, I think the ball started slowing and turning slightly. That's what Pathum said made it difficult for the incoming batsman. But the batsman took the necessary risk and we didn't waste too many deliveries. We encouraged him to take the risk without fear because Pathum was at the other end.
Ceylon tea, a symbol of Sri Lanka's pride, continues to shine on the global stage. At Expo 2025 in Osaka, Japan, Sri Lankan tea set a new Guinness World Record when buyers at a special auction paid the highest price ever for 1 kilogram of tea.
Happy headlines. Ceylon tea, a product that carries the pride and fame of Sri Lanka across the globe, continues to make its mark internationally. Japan remains one of the top destinations for our country's tea, with black tea holding a special place among global buyers. At the Expo 2025 held in Osaka, Japan, Sri Lankan tea set a new Guinness World Record during a special program promoting our tea. The record was achieved at a tea auction organized by the Japan Tea Association at the Osaka Grand Prince Hotel, aimed at introducing Sri Lankan tea to Japanese buyers. At the auction, the new Vithanakanda factory's tea was sold for 125,000 Japanese yen per kilo, around $835 or approximately 250,500 Sri Lankan rupees per kilo, marking the highest price ever paid for tea, officially recognized by Guinness World Records.
New Vithanakanda FBOPF Extra Special, beautiful long-leaf tip of the finest buds that have been collected and gently rolled. 10,000, 30,000, 30, 30. Are we going up? Are we 120,000? Do I have to close this at 120,000? Or are we going up? I see a raised hand, 125 or 125. 125,000, 120. This is remarkable, guys. 125,000, the highest price we have got so far. Thank you very much.
The certificate was also awarded during the event.
මේ ජාත්‍යන්තර එක්ස්පෝ එක මිලියන 28ක් ජනතාව පැමිණෙන එක්ස්පෝ.
The International Expo, running for 6 months, is set to welcome an incredible 28 million visitors. Tomorrow, a special day will celebrate Sri Lanka, bringing together the EDB, the Sri Lanka Chamber of Commerce and Japanese partners involved in trade and investment. For the government, this isn't just an event. It's a chance to boost tourism, promote exports and attract new investments. Tourism is another big focus. With so many Japanese visitors expected, experts say now is the perfect time for Japanese hotel chains to team up with Sri Lankan businesses to keep up with demand. Sri Lanka is working to expand hotel room capacity with support from the BOI and Ministry of Tourism, creating exciting opportunities for investors and helping the tourism industry thrive.
වැඩසටහනට BOI ආයතනත් සංචාරක මණ්ඩලයක් දෙකොල්ලම සහභාගී වුණේ සඳහා. ඔබ හැමෝම දන්නවා අපිට තේ කියන්නේ පානයකට එහා ගිය.
We all know that tea is more than just a drink. It is a part of our culture. Today, we made our mark in Osaka Expo by participating in the country's largest tea auction. The Sri Lanka tea brought to the auction was sold successfully, generating a significant income and attracting strong interests from many Japanese tea buyers.
සුවිශේෂී ස්ථානයක් අද ජපානය තුල ශ්‍රී ලාංකික තේ නාමය සනිටුහන් කරනවා.
And that's a wrap of Primetime News for tonight. Thank you for joining us. Good night.